Welcome to the Nonprofit Exchange. Stories by leaders for leaders to help you to raise the bar on your own performance and to release the potential inside of you. Now, here's today's episode. Hello, everyone. We're back. This is Tuesday at 2 Eastern Time, USA. It's time for the Nonprofit Exchange. We have yet another wonderful guest today with a great story of inspiration. And, we're all celebrities in our own space. No matter where we think we are in the system, we can make things happen. And philanthropy is how you say it. I've had to learn. It's the love of humankind. We can do things for humankind, and it's not about money. It's about time, talent, and then some money. But if you have time and talent and passion, you can make things happen. I met this gentleman at a church gathering where he was telling his story, and I said, DW, I want you to share that to our audience, the nonprofit leaders and clergy on the Nonprofit Exchange. He said yes, and he's here today. DW Lawhorn, tell us, people that don't know you, a little bit about who you are and what's your passion.
Okay, thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate that and honored. But I'm really just a simple, normal guy. Born and raised in Central Virginia here. Worked hard all my life. Have a family like everybody else. Got kids that frustrate you. Kids in school. Kids that are grown. Grandkids. But I've always had a helping side. I always want to help people. Always see people with a need. Whether it's something simple or something challenging. And that's always intrigued me to always want to step up and do something. So that's pretty much my life, just as simple as it can be.
I like simple.
Yeah.
Where Louis Grizzard was a columnist and comedian for the Atlanta newspapers. And he said, American by birth, Southern by the grace of God. And we are, in fact, Southern. And, it's just nice being ordinary folk doing some amazing stuff, one thing at a time, major things with one step at a time. So I went to this church gathering. It was a Thursday night dinner gathering. It wasn't like with a pipe organ and stuff. It was really interesting, a gathering of faith leaders to hear stories of the community. And they said, oh, this guy's going to be here talking about children's books. And I go, yawn. But when you started talking, I was like, oh. And then he kept talking. I was, oh. So cover up your camera a minute, show us the background about what this is about, and then tell us, it's not just about children's books, but tell us how this happened. You've got a series of books, how many,
Right.
And what was the birth of the idea? And
Okay, yeah.
Share that story, please.
Yeah, sounds great. I have currently 3 books out. It's in the whole series is about Boots the cow. True story. Boots is a true cow that's right out in the field right beside my house every day. See him every day. He does not look like he does in the book. I've been asked that when people see him and go, he looks nothing like the cow in the book. And because he's not that cute, he's that funny and does the stories, but he's just not that cute. So we had to change him up a little bit. Got the 4th book will be coming out middle of April, hopefully right before Easter, called Boots Meets a Bee. And how this started is I'm on the board for the Carter Craft Foundation out of Lynchburg, Virginia. And real nice nonprofit that was started by very dear friends of mine in honor of their son who tragically lost his life in an accident. And before he had passed away, he had started doing real good things for the community and talked about his vision and stuff. So his parents kind of picked that up and went with it and wanted to make that happen. And I was honored that they asked me to be a part of that. Like most nonprofits and organizations, you got to have fundraisers and money coming in to do stuff. A lot of the things that we were doing, which would be golf tournaments, cruise in car shows, all those kind of things, all come to a screeching halt because of the pandemic, because of COVID, like most everything. Anything, that we was using as a fundraiser required people to be gathering and in groups, which we could not do. So sitting back and seeing that, I had already written stuff years when my kids were growing up. I would write stories because I found out grabbing normal books off the shelf and saying, hey, do you want to read this book tonight? And they grab it and they didn't read it 100 times. They had more memorized it. So it was really going through the motions. So I would write stories, including the kids and making them the character and using stories that they were doing. So I had this idea and said, hey, I've got another story about this crazy cow at my house. We'll see if I can get it, put out there and get it published. And I told them up front now, that this is silly and crazy. It probably won't go anywhere, but if it does, part of the proceeds will go to the foundation to help take up the slack for some of these lack of donations. And so I wrote the first story, which was The Day Boots Become a Cow. And lo and behold, it goes to #2 on Amazon, and it takes off, and there we go. And so then I had to write some more to follow up, and it fell right into place. So that's how we got to where we're at right now, with the fourth one coming out.
So people hear this. Now you're not a child, but you have children.
Yes.
And you wrote these stories.
Grandchildren, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You wrote and grandchildren, and so you actually like children.
Yes.
We would. And so, as a simple guy, I think the messages that children can understand are easy enough for adults to understand.
Yes.
And sometimes we make things too complicated.
Yes.
So there was a whole hill to climb here. You probably hadn't written a book. You didn't know, maybe you weren't an illustrator. You didn't know how to publish. You didn't know how to get it out there. So So our job in Center Vision is to help people take their strategy, which is we teach. I know you have different perspectives, but people can reach more potential if they share goals with other people.
Right.
And we teach you how to integrate all of those into performance.
Right.
And what you did is probably 3% of the population actually does. Out of 100 people, 3 actually do something, and only one of those will succeed. So you had some pretty strong determination. Tell us about that journey of discovery. How did you make this really happen?
Okay. Well, from the beginning, the first thing that stuck with me was being a board member on this nonprofit. You're not filling a seat. You're just not there to keep the seat warm. You got to believe in what you're doing. So you got to step up and do what you're expecting other people to do. And so that's what strived me, gave me the fire to do it. And, of course, I was stepping out of my comfort zone, but I said, I'm going to do it. And you was right on the illustrations, all that stuff. If I'd have drove these pictures, it'd look like a kindergartner with crayons. It would not have been in close. But I do have a friend that does marketing and he does commercials and stuff. So I touched base with him and said, I got this idea. Where would I go? And so he started pointing me in the right direction. So I, hired an illustrator out of New York, a graphic artist. Just grabbed some clip art of what I thought things would look like, and said, "This is my idea." And then it all started coming together. And then the same gentleman was able to get me published through Watch Creative Studios, and then it went from there. And I kept it simple too, because I got to keep it on a level. So if I was asked to come read it somewhere, I got to keep it where I can be able to do that too. But also, during the pandemic, kids were home and stuff like this. So I think that helped it, that they had time on their hands and parents got it. And it's a good story and a cute story, so and it all works together.
So you had an idea in your brain. Did you you had illustrations? Did you do like a storyboard, like to do a movie, or how did you convey that image to the people that worked with you?
Yeah. So I had typed up the story, just normal, typing it up in Word form. And then where I wanted the pictures to be placed, I just found clip art that was similar to what I was thinking should go along on that page. And I copied and pasted and put stuff together to get a general idea of what I was thinking. And luckily, the graphic artist took it from there, and just when I got the drawings back before they even become colorized, just the drawings, I was just blown away and amazed how that was.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So, so what was so we're having a lot of people listen to this who've got ideas.
Yes.
And so just tell us about, what were the obstacles? I mean, we all have obstacles, and sometimes people get discouraged really easily.
Yes.
So what was obstacles, and what were some missteps that you learned from?
Obstacles would be stepping out of, like I said before, your comfort zone, because obviously this is not was in the field of what I was already doing or anything. So taking that leap to do that, that's your first obstacle, is having your idea and believing in yourself to do it. Because you've got to be the first one to believe your own ideas and go from there. So that's a first obstacle. And then, some of the other challenges is when you presenting it to different people, as more people get involved, you get people that want to try to steer you from your original idea or say this would be better, but stick with what you want, what's in your heart. And that's what I did, because I had several people make some suggestions that I am so glad I did not go with. And I kept it right to what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it,
That's an important point.
Yes.
People listening now, you might be listening to this sometime in history. We're recording this in March of 2022. By the way, that number is what they call a palindrome. It's the same forward and backwards. 222022. It's really fascinating. We look at that. So we are talking to you maybe, hopefully, at the end of what we call the pandemic of 2020, carrying on past that. And so you might be listening to this at another point in history, but the themes here are consistent with leaders are people who make things happen. And so we're talking to D.W. Lawhorn, who's in Bedford, Virginia. He's a book author by trade with a day job for working for the town of Bedford, right?
That's correct. I'm the director of public works. Been at this for about 30 years and love that, meeting the people in the community and citizens and being able to help on that side of things. And of course, this is just my side gig to help with the foundation. So.
Well, absolutely. So let's go back to what you said at the beginning of this. This is important for leaders to hear. I can't tell you how many nonprofit board chairs and executive directors say, oh, they're busy, I don't want to ask them to do anything, which is the antithesis of what people on the board want. They're on the board because they want to serve. So talk about your inspiration for stepping up as a board member. Well,
first of all, when I was asked to be on the board, great honor for me. I mean, I took that as, highly respectful, being that they thought that enough of me to serve in that capacity. So with that, I've got to believe what I sell. I mean, you got to believe in your product. You got to be the face of that. So you just can't show up at quarterly meetings and throw out ideas and expect everybody else to do the work. You've got to be a hands-on person. And, so, and then other people see that and hopefully inspire from that. Because if they see you doing it, then all the other people that you're asking to help out are more willing to join in and help you if you're doing it.
So your inspiration was there was a gap in fundraising.
Yes.
And you thought you could assist in filling that gap.
Yes.
And you had a particular idea. Now, did you tell the board or did you just do it and then share it with the board? How did you?
I told the board and I told them right from the get-go, don't expect a lot because it might be the worst idea to ever come up. But if I didn't try it, it would be sticking in my mind forever why I didn't try it. So, I had nothing to lose by doing this other than maybe getting stuck with some books that I couldn't get rid of, but nothing to lose, everything to gain to come out of this.
But you were also willing to put your money where your mouth was. You invested some of your money in making this happen, right?
I did, yeah. So like on the Illustrator and stuff like that, and that was some of the ideas that came back. They came back and said, hey, we'll draw these pictures if for future earnings, given a percentage of the book series, stuff like that, which I absolutely know, so I just upfronted the money to buy the pictures, have them illustrated where I own them straight out, the copyright, everything. That way, when I get the finished product, everything was mine. So when I sell it, other than when I sell on Amazon, they get a cut. But after that, everything comes to me. I don't have 10 other people getting a piece of the pie.
That's really wise because we think we're going to save a few dollars, but ultimately it's costing you a lot more money.
Exactly.
So you got to be number 2 on Amazon in the category or overall?
In the children's books. Yeah.
That's quite remarkable. Why do you think that happened?
I think because I was doing a good thing. You reap what you sow. I think once the word got out, people saw it. I think it's a good book. I think it's a good series. Of course, I'm partial to it, but I think also the story behind it is what helps push it too.
Well, I Googled, pardon the use, we've taken the word hostage to be a verb.
Yes.
But I searched for Boots the Cow online, and there's a lot of bookstores that list your book.
Yes.
So you have physical stores that do it.
Yes.
You're in the Welcome Center in the town where you work.
Yes.
And so have you had sponsors? You told a story about getting a sponsor on a race car, but I don't know what you did about that.
Yeah. So I'll give you the short version, which, instead of dragging it out. But so, I'm a big NASCAR fan. And so go to a lot of races, and with the Kraft family, we used to go to races and camp and stuff like that. So I thought, well, let me take a chance, reach out to some of the marketing firms and ad people that do sponsorship on cars. If I got to spend a couple $1,000s to be on a sticker on a car, of course, you're going to get a very small place on a car. But I said, if I can get that and in return, get nationwide TV coverage or anything like that, and then it would come back, I could probably triple my money back and to give toward the foundation. So I saw a driver listed online where he was looking for sponsorship, and it was on the NASCAR level, Xfinity series, and sent them an email, my story, everything like that. They was interested. I'm ready to do it. It looked like it's going to happen. And by fortune, 2 weeks later, this guy wins the Talladega race. And that is when that whole Let's Go Brandon thing kicked up, which helped me getting good to be on the car, because as funny as it was and all that happened, it actually hurt him marketing wise. And then people wanted to stay away from him. And he's a great guy. It's no fault of his. It just, he got caught up in some stuff. So then the people I was working with said, hey, we can try to get you on a truck team. And I was looking to do the Martinsville race. The truck team we got associated with did not work out. And I'm thinking, okay, it just wasn't meant to be. And then I get a call. There's a NASCAR driver, Coy LaJoy, who seems to be a super nice guy. Actually got my books, read them to his kids. He liked them, and got back in touch and said, hey, this is a great thing you're doing for the foundation and everything. We'll do it for free. And of course, I'm just, again, it's one of those things that fell into place. So I worked with his people, and we got to meet him in Martinsville. We got books for the whole team, all the family, everybody took some pictures, done all this stuff. And he worked with us for the Martinsville race. And then he come back and did a video for us of him sitting down, reading the book to his son. And he posted it online for us and put the story about us and how you get to our Amazon store, our website, bootsthecow.com, all the good things that we needed to happen by fate for free, because it was a good cause. And that helped tremendously there and opened up some doors there.
You were willing to go out and ask the question. You got that ball rolling. So I want to make sure that you recognize that you got it started. People think about, oh, what if, but they never make the call.
Yeah.
They never send the email. They never reach out and say, can we work out a deal? And then that certainly helps you get to the rating and sell books. So you've sold a number of books. So you have 3 now.
Yeah, three published books. And I do have a notebook that's not considered a storybook, but we have 3 storybooks of Boots the Cow. And then we put out just a general notebook that's a Boots the Cow notebook that kids can take to school to use as a general ledger notebook to write in. We had a small cartoon that came out at Christmas time with the Christmas book. You can go on the website and see that, the bootsthecow.com, the cartoon's listed there. And it's the story of the Christmas book put to cartoon. And that was pretty cool. And then the 4th book will be out middle of April, coming out, Boots Meets a Bee. And it teaches kids about how bees are good for the environment and how they pollinate.
I love it. I love it. So you heard it, bootsthecow.com. If you're watching on the video, if not, you can go to the website, the nonprofitexchange.org, and find this interview. So Boots the Cow. So you've got the day Boots became a cow.
Yes.
Christmas with Boots.
Yes.
Boots is on the loose.
Yes. Yep.
So you got more, and then the new one coming out is going to be
Boots Meets a Bee.
Boots Meets a Bee. Christmas with Boots. There we are. Is
Yep.
that so? That's the cartoon.
That's the cartoon right there. Yep.
That is great. So when you go to Boots the Cow, BOOTSTHECOW, all straight through.com, you'll find it. You'll find about author. You'll find, and I will put that on the website and on the information. If you've downloaded the podcast, you'll have it in the information. So DW.
Yes.
This has obviously been an inspiration to other people, but it's also been energizing for you. Talk
Yes.
about what it's like to be a giver.
It feels great. One of my inspirations when I was growing up as a young child, like a lot of people, you get to go in the summertime, spend time with your grandparents and stay at their house. And of course, they treat you wonderful and send you back home with all the goodies and stuff. And I was fortunate that I had a grandmother who it was very influential on me and loved her to death, and she loved me. And she would quite often, we would be sitting, whether we were sitting on the porch just talking or having an ice cream, whatever, she would often, as I look back on it now, give me so many words of wisdom. And I wish I could sit down and have a conversation with her now as an adult, but I think back on the things she told me. And one of the things that she told me as a young age that stuck out with me was, if you find one true friend in your lifetime, you'll be lucky. So be that friend to everybody you meet and be there for them and be that person. And I've tried to do that, you know. And so that drives me. And from that point on, I've always been it. When I was in school, you know, how you'll see you have a group of kids that are all friends and, you know, not trying to be mean or anything, but they just all hang out together. But you always see that one or two that's off to the side, that's, you know, has social skill problems or doesn't reach out, but they're good people and stuff. I would always tend to go sit with that person to have lunch, talk to that person, be that person's friend. And help them. Or if I see people in need as I got older, if I see a need, you just help people.
Well, we're called, I'm a member of the local Rotary Club here, and their motto is service above self. And so I think more people could be focused on serving others. And, you know, it is really a pleasure to be able to help other people and do some things without any expectation of return, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. You know, there's always a need out there for people, and sometimes it could be simple needs and sometimes it could be challenging needs. But if you just find where you fit in with those needs to help out, and even if it's on a small scale, it's still helping out.
We're coming up to the last few minutes of the interview, but I want to explore a couple of things with you. First of all, for those people who are not educated and in the know, we're in the hotbed, the energy field for NASCAR in the South here. We got racetrack. Martinsville's one of those short tracks,
Yes.
like Bristol. You know, you can see the whole track, and the best seats, people, are not in the front row. It's just the opposite of going to the theater. And then we got Richmond. So we're pretty lucky. We got a number of tracks within, you know, a few hours driving distance. So that's for people not in the know. We're in the, you know, that's our local sport. So the leadership piece of this, we are visionaries, and sometimes it's friends and family that are our worst barriers. And you tell them your vision, they go, "Oh man, what are you thinking?"
Yeah.
And so talk about, and your guiding principles are, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make decisions for the benefit of this project.
Right.
And so you don't have to name names or give specifics, but how did you know some of the advice they gave you wasn't going to resonate? Was it hard saying no to people?
No, I didn't find it hard to say no at all, because I already had in my mind where I thought this would go and what it would do. And then the other thing is, when you look at people giving you advice, you need to look at them and say, how is your own advice working out for you? And you can see that with people. So you can very quickly separate that out. And then also, you know, one thing I want to point out to people is, if you have an idea, you know, do it, because I don't set goals. That's one of the things that I put in your thing. I told you that I think goals can be a distraction because you get more focused on that goal and just you get stressed out, and you get so stressed out about trying to achieve that goal that you lose sight of what your whole idea was about. So if you have an idea, you just go with the idea and let it go.
Well, and I would share that 33 years of doing this, there is another perspective on that. Writing proper goals that inspire you and then
Yes.
hook other people into your vision. And actually, without knowing it, you were pretty strong with your goals and your principles. And, what kept you from getting discouraged as on the way? And then you had a group of people that were attaboy, let's do it around you also. So let's look at what kept you from getting discouraged, and how did you find those champions that really helped propel you across the finish line?
Well, what helped me get it done was looking at my own life and my own family, and looking how blessed I am and how happy I am in life, how blessed I am, and how I want to see that with other people. And the only way I'm going to see that happen is to get out and do this stuff and not sit on the sidelines. So that's a good driver to that, is to make people happy and help them out.
Love it. Now, we're a nonprofit. We can't do a call to action or sell things. However, if you want the books,
yes,
they're on bootsthecow.com, and it says the book series, and the Boots Cow notebooks $3.95, and the other books are less than $10.
yes.
And so grandparents can buy them here and have them shipped to their grandchildren.
Yes, they can. Or you can hit us up on our website if you need a personal autograph. It'd probably kill the value of it, but I will sign a book for anybody. If you go out to the stores, we're as far south as Greensboro right now, in some bookstores and stuff. We got in some stores up towards the lake, up here at the Bedford Welcome Center, if you're in that area, because we also have little stuffed cows of Boots that go with it, that are only sold in the stores. We have those, some pins and other little cute, merchandise that goes with it.
So if people wanted to contact you, there's a contact button on the website.
It is a contact on the website, Boots Cow. You hit that, it'll go straight to us. My wife handles all my online stuff. So quite often in the afternoons I get home, she'll have stuff laid out, and you need to sign these 50 books and have a little sticky notes on it, who they go to, and properly spell the name and do all that stuff. And I'm very happy to do all that. I love doing that kind of stuff. Now with the pandemic easing up, we do have some book signings planned. We're going to be up at the lake, Smith Mountain Lake up there, probably 1st of May, doing some stuff with the new book when it comes out. So,
are you limited in book signings? Do you only go certain so far?
No, I'm pretty much good to go. We didn't get to do much in the pandemic, but if people contact me and want me to come out, we will come out. It's not a problem.
That's good to hear. Go to the website if you want DW to come do a book reading and a book signing. He reads the book and it's in his voice, and
Yes.
it's great to hear it coming from the creator. So what you heard here was a vision faithfully executed, and then he learned what not to do by listening to people, and he learned what to do by listening to people, and was able to stay to his principles that were, he articulated as he laid out this course for the book. So DW, no doubt, I'm going to get serious for grandchildren, several. So you'll be signing some for me.
I will be glad.
And I know they're going to be blessed by this. So as we end this really inspiring interview, what do you want to say to people that got ideas out there? What challenge or call to action do you want to give them for their own vision?
If you have an idea, go with it. Don't hold back. Don't have regrets in life, going through and thinking, what if? If you've got it, do it, because you've got it inside of you. You can make it happen. Nobody's going to make it happen for you. You got to be the first person to step up and believe in yourself and do it.
D.W. Lawhorn, the inspiration and perspiration behind Boots the Cow series. It's not just a book. It's a whole energy field of inspiration. So thank you for the goodness that you brought to the world and being our guest today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for watching The Nonprofit Exchange.